All right, what's going on, everyone? Welcome back to the channel, and today we're going to talk to you guys about how to throw strikes and what that perfect strike looks like. Stay tuned. So when we talk about throwing strikes and throwing strikes consistently, first we have to know what the pocket is. Now the pocket is a 17.5 board, and that goes for both right-handers and left-handers, obviously. A little less than that is going to be light flush, and a little bit higher than that is going to be high flush. But it's not only important to know where the pocket is, but we have to pay attention to our degree of entry going into the pocket. So when we talk about entry angles, what does that mean, Brad?
Well, according to USB-C, the perfect entry angle is anywhere between 4 degrees and 6 degrees.
Yeah.
But it's almost nearly impossible to know exactly what degree you have. But I can tell you the most important thing you can do is watch your ball go through the pins. Watch what the ball does and watch what the pins do.
Right.
So let's discuss what a good strike looks like. And you're going to know you threw a good strike when the ball ends up anywhere between the 8 and the 9. That is supposedly probably the 5-degree mark. It's going to give you the best margin of error.
And that's how you know your ball is going through the pins. Probably when you're having good entry angle, you're missing a little right, you're missing a little left, you're getting away with a lot of different hits. Right?
Yeah, definitely. You absolutely know you have the good angle when you're getting different types of hits and you're stringing 6 and 7 baggers. Like, you don't have to fit it perfectly every single time.
So I guess the main point of that is we need to watch how the ball goes through the pins and what the pins are doing when the ball is entering the pins. So,
yeah, since it's impossible to know exactly what, just pay attention to what your ball is doing through the pins.
So we talk about a good entry angle and what to kind of look for. What happens when maybe our entry angle is a little less? What are some signs of that?
So the first thing you're going to notice if you have a low entry angle is the amount of deflection the ball does through the pins.
Right.
So if it's coming in at a more direct angle, the ball is going to deflect to the right, and it's going to end up in either the 10 or the 9 spot. And I'm not saying this is necessarily a bad thing, because there's a lot of great players that use this to their strategy, like Chris Barnes.
Yeah.
And it's been really fun to watch him over the years. But the amount of deflection is the number one thing you can see when you have low entry angle. And you're going to see things like 5 pins falling late, like the Walter Ray hit.
Right.
Plaque and tinge, your ball's not going to have a whole lot of power going through the pins.
Yeah, and this is probably used more to control the lane.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Like, the lower entry angle is something you're going to use when the scores are a little bit lower,
Yeah.
when the pattern is a little bit harder, when it's harder to strike, when it's harder to get to the pocket. You're going to want your ball to roll a little bit earlier, less down lane, giving you less entry angle through the pins. And that's why guys like Barnes and Norm Duke are so hard to beat when the scores are low, because they can get to 220 no matter what.
They got it to a T. So that's a lower entry angle. Now, let's go on the opposite end of the spectrum. What about a higher entry angle? When are we going to use that?
This is probably the more popular route nowadays, given the two-handers and the amount of power, but the opposite of the low entry angle. It's getting farther away from the head pin, and then it's coming in at a steeper way. And so some things you're going to see when you have a really steep entry angle are stuff like 4 pins and 9 pins. And I know 9 pins and 4 pins, and you're even going to ring 10, because if it's coming in at too steep an angle,
coming too far behind the head pin.
yeah, the 6 is going to wrap around the 10. And so when you leave these, I know it's a very deflating thing, but the pins literally tell you everything you need to know. So if you're consistently leaving 9 pins, it's telling you something.
Yeah.
If you're consistently leaving 10 pins or 4 pins, it's telling you something. So the most important thing you could do is not become emotionally attached to the result, and actually make sure you pay attention to the ball and the pins and what they're doing.
Yeah, guys, like Brad just said, pay attention to the pins as your ball is going through. It's going to tell the entire story. Try to take a better outlook on what you leave. Don't be so upset if you do ring that 7-10 or bone that 9. Just understand why it happened, and that's going to give you a better mindset to make the adjustment.
All right, guys, thank you for watching the video. And remember, the most important thing you can do in bowling is just pay attention to your ball and pay attention to the pins when you're trying to achieve that perfect entry of angle.
Make sure you guys go to InsideBowling.com, check out our merch, follow us on Patreon. He's staring at me over here.
Did I say entry of angle? Is the angle of entry?
I don't know. They understand what we're saying. Anyway, follow us on Instagram. Links in the description. We'll see you later.